Today we are going to be doing a little algebra review. We are going to do some solving of multiple step equations. Before we get started, okay, I just want to give you some reminders. Well, first, as always, you need to show all of your work. Okay, I don't want to see anything turned in incomplete, which means you didn't show all of your work, so please do that, or you will be getting it back or receiving a 0 if you don't redo it. So you might as well do it right the first time. So these are the steps that I think about when I'm solving multiple step equations to make my life easier. Okay, the first thing that I look for, are there any parentheses where I can use the distributive property? Okay, I first decide, can I get rid of those parentheses somehow? After that, I go and look at both sides of the equal sign and I determine if I can combine any like terms. Then, after I do those two things, I move my variables to the same side. So if I have x's on the right and the left, I move one of them over to the other side to combine them. After you do those three steps, it should be close, if not all the way, to a two-step equation at that point, okay, which I think all of us can complete. I'm going to go through some example problems. As I'm going through these, please write them down first. I would like you to try it on your own and then listen once you have it complete. Okay, so was that clear to everybody? Okay, so you're going to write this example down. You're going to pause the video. You're going to complete it to the best of your ability. And then you are going to listen to my step-by-step process. Okay, so I want you to pause. Do it now. Yeah, I'm still waiting for some of you. Pause the video. All right, so hopefully you paused it. Listen to directions. First thing I notice here, I noticed there wasn't any distributive property, so I'm jumping right into combining like terms, the 6 and the 3. So I have 4x plus 9 equals 17. I'm then going to subtract my 9 over to the other side. So I get 4x equals 17 minus 9. I get 8. Divide by 4. So my final answer is x equals 2. Next one, again, the rules here, people. We are going to write it down. You're going to pause the video. You are going to try to complete this to the best of your ability, and then you are going to listen to my step-by-step. So go ahead and pause. I notice there's distributive property first. Okay, so I'm going to distribute that negative 5. So I get 30 equals negative 30n minus 30. Well, lots of 30s going on. I do not have any like terms, nor do I have to move any variables yet, okay, because they're all to the same side. So it's a two-step equation from here, and I notice I can add 30. So I get 60 equals 30n. And then I'm going to divide by negative 30. Remember, when you divide a positive by a negative, you get a negative 2 for our answer. Example number 3. Okay, I notice I do have the distributive property for the 5. So I have it rewritten as negative 13 equals 5 plus 20m minus 2m. Next, I do have some like terms I can combine. So I'm going to rewrite it, negative 13 equals 5 plus 18m. Next, I'm going to subtract 5, negative 18 equals 18m, and then I'm going to divide by 18. So I get negative 1 for my m. Okay, we have 2 left. Okay, again, write it down, pause the video and try it. So you can pause now. First thing, distributive property. 8 plus 40x plus 5 equals 13 plus 5x. I then notice I can combine my 5 and 8 together. So I get 13 plus 40x equals 13 plus 5x. I do have variables on different sides. I like to move the smaller one first. Doesn't really matter if you subtracted 40 instead, you should still come up with the correct answer. Next, it's a two-step equation. I'm going to subtract 13. So I get 35x equals 0. When we divide, I'm going to rewrite it up here. So 35x equals 0. Divide by 35. They cancel. We get x to be 0. Now sometimes people freak out when they see an answer of 0, but you guys, 0 is an actual number. It's okay. Okay? So don't get freaked out when you get a 0. All right, last but not least, this is a fun one. So again, write it, pause the video, see if you get the same thing as me. I have 2 distributive properties, so I'm going to do them at the same time. So I get 10x plus 30 equals 20 plus 8x plus 3x. It gets kind of tricky with all these negatives, so just be careful. I do have some like terms on the right, so I am going to rewrite it to make it simpler on myself. 8 plus 3, that's how I got my 11. I am going to move my variables to the same side, so I'm going to subtract the 10. Okay, I just don't like dealing with negative numbers, so that's why I do the smallest one or the negative. Okay, and this actually ends up being a 1 step at the end. We're going to subtract 20. So we get 10. Right, make sure that you ask questions if you are confused still.